This week's Torah portion is called Parashat Vayishlach. And if you remember last week, we were reading about Jacob. He left his home, he ran away, he ended up at the home of his uncle Lavan in Haran. And now Jacob is leaving Haran with his wives, with his children, with all of his entourage, and he's on his way back home. And just like we read last week about how Jacob finds himself alone, Jacob finds himself alone again in this week's Torah portion. He doesn't fall asleep, but what we read about Jacob having a wrestling match with a man, that he struggles with this man. And there are many commentaries that teach us and show us perhaps what this struggle was and who the struggle was with. One commentary says that the angel that he struggled with was the angel that represented the forces of evil in the world, and that Jacob was the force of good. So now Jacob is in the cosmic battle of fighting against the evil to bring goodness to prevail. Another understanding is that this angel represents the inner forces, the negative inner forces that we have inside of ourselves, the negative character traits that we may have, that we want to struggle with, that we want to purge ourselves of, that we don't want to be angry people, we don't want to be jealous people, all the things that we want to work on ourselves so that we don't have those be the ones that manifest themselves in our outward appearance. We want to have an inner and outer completeness. So we struggle against the negative forces inside of ourselves. And finally, another commentary that I'd like to share with you is that we are struggling with God, that we don't understand how things are the way they are. We don't understand why there's so much pain and there's so much suffering. Why did October 7th happen? How could you let this happen? How could the Holocaust happen? All the things throughout our lives and throughout Jewish history, throughout the history of the world. Where is God? And we struggle with God. We are people that struggle with God. Jacob has this wrestling match with the angel until dawn. And he prevails over this angel. And the angel man says, I need to leave. I need to go praise God. Let me go. And Jacob says, I won't let you go until you bless me. And so the angel blesses Jacob. And he says, you will no longer only be called Jacob. You will also be called, your name will be changed to Yisrael, which means that you have striven with man and with God, and you have prevailed. You have overcome. And the place where this happened is Peniel, which means that I have seen the divine and I have prevailed. My life was spared. So we have this cosmic battle with evil. We have the battle inside of ourselves. We have the battle with God to try to understand God's ways. And this is the world of struggle. And we are on a journey. And at the end of this story that we read in this week's Torah portion, we read about the dawn and the sun coming up. And that at the end, we will have prevailed. So we can perhaps see this story as one of hope, one of redemption, one that there will be an end where the, quote, dawn will break, where there will be a redemptive energy in the world and we will see the light at the end of the tunnel. And please may that happen really soon.